Boy, that was ugly. It is a locker room post-game show here. Texans with an epic choke. Appreciate everyone for coming through. Be sure to subscribe, like, right along. It is the locker room post-game show. And this one was, some people have said that this is the worst loss in franchise history. I think that might be a little bit dramatic, but this was embarrassing. And the worst thing about it for Texans fans, I'm sure, is that this was very familiar to what we've seen. The Texans have not scored an offensive touchdown in the second half since week 6. Week 6 against the Patriots was the last time they scored a touchdown in the second half. And when you put together an effort like that, in the offense, regardless of what the reason is, I see some people are mad at CJ Stroud, but regardless of what the reason is, when you put together an effort like that on defense and you force Jared Goff to throw in one game, and I know one of them was a Hail Mary, but in one game, Jared Goff throws as many interceptions as he has all season, and he throws more interceptions than he has all season, you can't lose that game. There is no excuse for the Texans to lose that game. On the super chat, Rick says 4 touchdowns in 10 games in the second half. That's a play calling, not a position problem. I think it could be a number of things, but the adjustments are absolutely terrible with Bobby Slowik. I need you to explain to me why the Texans, this is from Rob, I need you to explain to me why the Texans cannot play a full game and do not score points in the second half, please. Like, it's so frustrating. I can't. I mean, I would love to. I can't. Watching the actual game, I think CJ didn't play that well his damn self. So this is not it was all the play calling. CJ didn't play a very good game his damn self. But I can't explain it. I don't know how many people can explain it. I'll be interested to hear Bobby Slowik try to explain it, because quite frankly, it's embarrassing, and it's actually incredibly astonishing just how bad this offense is in the second half. It's absolutely pathetic. This offense in the second half of games. It's about as embarrassing as something can possibly be when it comes to this. And we'll hear from DeMeco what the hell he has to say. We'll hear from CJ Stroud. We'll hear from you as well. H-Town says at least we can appreciate the fact Slowik will never be a head coach. Get him out of our city. So you want him out of the city. You don't want him fired. You want him out of the city. T, shout out to T. Landry Slowik is never getting a head coaching job. He's one of the worst offensive play callers of all time. I'm done. Fire Slowik. Save the season. I don't know what they're going to do or what they're going to change. They did change the offensive line today. I thought the pass blocking was good. The run blocking, not so much. Joe Mixon kind of kept in check. And if you told me that I had to choose one or the other, which is unfortunately where you're at with this offensive line, I'm choosing the pass blocking, which is fine. It would be nice to get both. I'm not going to be greedy, but the pass blocking was clearly better. And here was my problem too. This is what I really didn't get with Bobby Slowik. To me, the worst, like, I can't point like off the top of my head to like terrible play calls in the second half. But for me, the worst play call from Slowik in this whole game was when it was 3rd and 10 and he decided to run the ball after they'd been converting on 3rd down, and Bobby Slowik elected to run the ball and settle for a long 50-plus yard field goal. And that was early in the game when they kind of had it going. And on the flip side, when they're not blocking well earlier this year, you have Bobby Slowik decide to try to throw and get sacked out of field goal range. It's almost like the guy just does not fully grasp or does not fully know what's going on with his personnel. He's been ass. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Bobby Slowik has been ass. Absolute ass. He's been terrible. This team is the most fraudulent team in the league. What do people think they are at this point? Right now, the Texans, they're simply the best team in the AFC South, and the AFC South sucks. Every team in the AFC South this week lost. And the Texans right now have a 2+ game lead on the Indianapolis Colts. Nobody's catching them in the AFC South. They're going to host a playoff game no matter what. They can be on this mediocre seesaw. They're going to win the division. It doesn't matter what happens. But as far as being a contender, like this is not a contending football team. On defense, they are. Like if the offense were as well coached as the defense, I mean, God, who knows what would happen? They didn't have their best player today. They didn't have Will Anderson. And the defense was out there forcing Jared Goff to throw 5 interceptions, one of them on the Hail Mary. The defense is coached as well as possible. The offense sucks. And I've said this before. I've said this throughout the week. I've really said this lately. This right now looks like a team that has a defensive-minded head coach. That's what it looks like. They look like a team that the coach performs his specialty very well at a very good level. DeMeco Ryans, the offense looks like total trash. Bobby Slowik, CJ Stroud, everybody. They didn't have Nico Collins. Who gives a rat's ass? The defense didn't have Will Anderson. Okay? I keep hearing that. Oh, they didn't have Nico. Okay, they didn't have Will Anderson. Pretty much the same thing. Pretty much the same damn thing. Maybe worse on defense. Will Anderson was just the defensive player of the month. Shout out to Matt. It was nice meeting you at the gathering. Didn't expect us to win this game. I didn't expect it to be that close. But to lose in that fashion is embarrassing. I agree. That one was one of the most epic choke jobs that we will ever see from a Texans team. No touchdowns in the second half in a while. 6 since week 6 against the Patriots. Even with just field goals every other drive, we would have won. Shout out to Gustavo. Nice to meet you too at the gathering. X says, why do we still look like the exact same team from 20 years ago? It's always the same story, shaking my head. I don't know about that. They do look a lot like the same team from, 18, 19. Maybe even 16. I mean, I know CJ Stroud's not Brock Osweiler, but that defense was ranked top in the league, and the offense was kind of blah. This is an ass offense. They're a bottom half offense right now. Maybe worse. Statistically, like DVOA, they're way down there. And I used to talk about Bill O'Brien, and I used to talk about how, oh man, the DVOA stats. I wore those things to death. These are BOB, maybe worse DVOA stats that Bobby Slowik is putting out there. So it looks kind of 2016-ish. Oh, and by the way, the AFC South sucked. So you were still able to get in the playoffs. That's what the Texans look like right now. Anytime you're on national TV, you wet the bed. You beat the Bears, cool. That looks good right now. They suck too. Joe close to 30 runs for under 40 yards, and you want to run first and second down to get in field goal range. Slowik has to F and go. Now, this was the problem. I don't agree with you on the first down. The second down, I do. And this is where you know that Bobby Slowik's not very smart when it comes to like actually being able to just in the moment. And no, look, the first half offense is okay. Maybe when you just sit that nerd in a room and he gets to watch tape like he did at Pro Football Focus before, maybe that's where Bobby Slowik is his best and the offense is most prepared. But as soon as the pressure's up, Bobby Slowik, whether it's being able to balance in Green Bay, whether it's being able to balance the play on 3rd and long where they threw an out to Tank Dell, or the end of this game, Bobby Slowik has no idea what he's doing at the end of the fourth quarter. And I'll just explain this to you real quick. And this first really came to my attention. I think it was like 15, 16 years ago when we're talking about when Sean Payton first got to the Saints. And the Saints actually had the lead. And with like 2:03 or something like that left, Sean Payton threw the ball. And this is real simple. This is just football 101. But I'm not going to say football 101 when the moron calling plays here doesn't know what the hell he's doing. The Texans in this game, they had the ball with about 2:15 left. And they had just run the ball on first down. They picked up a couple of yards. They snapped the ball with 2:07 remaining, which I thought was weird because they could have kind of took it down to 2:05, 2:04 on second down. Bobby Slowik decides to run the ball with Joe Mixon. which means you take it to the 2-minute warning, which you could have done anyways. And the clock is stopping no matter what. So the consequence of throwing the ball really doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, you can almost make a case that if you throw an incomplete pass, then maybe you run on third. But I wouldn't go that far because I don't think you rely on a 58-yard field goal. We saw how that worked. That's not something you want to do. But the fact that Bobby Slowik, especially with the way that CJ at times in third down was able to make plays and some of the plays that you've made, and you obviously had enough confidence in your offense at the end of the second half to where I would have taken it to the house. So I'm not just a guy who deals in hindsight. I personally would have been gutless and taken it to the half. They ended up, the only touchdown pass that CJ Stroud threw was to John Mechie. So I don't deal in hindsight. My dumb ass wouldn't have gotten those 7 points, but Bobby Slowik did. But in the situation where it's the final play of the 2-minute warning at second down, you're right now going to be kicking damn near a 60-yard field goal and you run the ball. That's dumb. That's just idiotic because it's going to be the 2-minute warning no matter what. That was stupid. That was as stupid as the Green Bay thing. Another time when the offense wasted a defensive effort. So that was idiotic by Bobby Slowik. But I don't think this guy, I think he's a nerd who doesn't know how to adjust in big situations. I don't think he does. I think Bobby Slowik is a guy that if you give him it, when Bobby Slowik was in school, I bet Bobby Slowik was a badass test taker. You know, when the exam is, the teacher hands you out the syllabus and you look at the syllabus. All right, on November 10th, we have a test. We have an exam. Okay. He probably stays up all night, drinks a bunch of coffee. He's damn sure not edgy enough to take Adderall or anything like that. Drinks all his coffee. He has a study group. He has a bunch of flashcards and all that crap. And then he goes out there and he just aces that test. Boom, Bobby. Look at that, Bobby. What a student that Bobby Slowik is. Ruins the curve for everybody. Everybody else thought the test was so hard. Bobby thought it was easy because Bobby had time to prepare for it. Same teacher 2 weeks later gives you a pop quiz. His ass pees his pants. And he completely crumbles. That's what Bobby Slowik is. Bobby Slowik is the nerd that likes to cram, likes to study, sometimes overthink stuff. But as soon as the pop quiz happens, he pees his pants. He doesn't know what to do. He has to go to the nurse's office. He's throwing up. Probably gets like a 36 on that test. That's what Bobby Slowik is. But to not throw, that's all I needed to know. The fact that Bobby Slowik did not throw on the final play before the 2-minute warning, that was all that I needed to see. That was all that I needed to see to know, man, this guy's screwed.
Damn it, Bobby.
Yes, say it one more time, Hank.
Damn it, Bobby.
Damn it, Bobby. That's exactly what he is. He has crusty, urine-smelling pants anytime there's a pop quiz. And I just put this up on Twitter. This was, and I said this in the moment. And this was terrifying. You saw some of Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson's another guy that's getting mentioned as a head coach. Ben Johnson saw that Jalen Petrie, you get him in coverage. He saw that Kamari Lassiter went out, and he completely adjusted. And you knew that if this thing went the distance, Bobby Slowik, whose offense hasn't scored a touchdown since week 6 against the Patriots, you knew that this was what was going to happen. That's what going the distance looks like with Bobby. Bobby's Butterbean. Ben Johnson is Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather wants to go the distance. He wants to adjust. He wants to see what your game plan is. That is Bobby Slowik.
Damn it, Bobby.
Butterbean Slowik. Because he cannot go the distance. He's going to have to knock you out early. You're going to have to get the lead early enough. You're going to have to get the turnovers. That's what Bobby Slowik is. Bobby Slowik is Butterbean in the boxing ring. It has to be a knockout, or you have to get bailed out, or the opponent has to suck. He is a gimmick right now, Bobby Slowik. That is what Bobby Slowik is. That's what he's proven himself to be. And there's been 2 situations where he's shown that he's an absolute moron. 2 situations we've seen. Green Bay, where you run the ball twice, and then you decide you're going to throw short of the sticks, and you say you didn't have the right look. And then 2-minute warning, 58-yard field goal attempt. You run the ball instead of throwing it when the clock's going to stop when you've been running the ball well. They were more conservative in throwing downs today than they were when the offensive line sucked. That's when you know a guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing. That is substantive hints that a guy does not know what the hell he is doing. And that's what Bobby Slowik has shown you. He has shown you that. And I don't know what the hell they do. Hell, on offense, I don't even know if Kenyon Green gets benched if he doesn't get hurt. I think it's kind of evident when it comes to the pass blocking that Kenyon Green might have been the problem. I hope he gets healthy, but I think it's obvious. Now, we knew that weeks ago that probably you needed to take Kenyon Green out of the game. He had to get fallen on by CJ Stroud after he got CJ Stroud knocked on his ass for them to make that change. Like, the offensive, the difference between the manner in which this defensive staff is coached and the manner in which this offensive staff is coached, or personnel is coached, it's night and day. It's night and day. It is like really, really good versus really, really bad. And I don't expect DeMeco Ryans to be an offensive genius. Quite frankly, DeMeco Ryans has kept them in these games. But you cannot let this shit go on the way that it's going on. You cannot let this shit go on the way that it has gone on. You have to do something. If that means letting Gerard Johnson call plays, I don't even know if he can call plays. I have no idea. I don't even know how good of a job he's doing right now with CJ Stroud, to be honest with you. I don't know what the hell he's doing. If that means maybe overseeing the offense and holding their feet to the fire a little bit more, then that. But something's got to change with this effing offense because it sucks. And it is embarrassing, the display that they've put on. It's pathetic. Let's hear what DeMeco Ryans has to say about this. We'll keep the supers going. We'll get more into the reaction, including when I knew the Texans were going to lose this game. I think you guys can probably agree with this. And we'll also get into CJ Stroud. How much blame does CJ Stroud deserve? I think he deserves quite a lot. We'll hear from him as well. Appreciate y'all for coming through the Locker Room postgame show. Let's hear what. Look at that face right there. You can tell he ain't happy. Let's hear what DeMeco had to say at the podium.
Second half, where you guys aren't able to score a touchdown.
Yeah, second half was not good enough for us. We didn't play winning football. We stalled on a lot of drives. Again, didn't score any points in the second half. So, to beat a good football team like that, we have to be able to sustain drives. We have to be able to score points. And we were going backwards way too much.
Throughout the season, you kind of mentioned how you guys kind of win ugly and how a win is a win. Do you feel like that type of approach has kind of bit you guys now, that it's been consistent, that you guys kind of been squeaking by, and now teams have been able to make comebacks and been able to serve the up? Do you feel like that approach is kind of backfired towards being able to put teams away?
And the approach each week is to go win the game, no matter how it looks. We don't set out to win an ugly game, but in this league, every game comes down to, you call that final possession. So you have to find a way to gut those out and win. We haven't been on the winning side, of those games, as, Green Bay, New York, and now Detroit. So we didn't make the plays to win the game. Like, however you win, you got to find a way. And to win games, you got to have guys have to step up and make plays, and that's not happening.
The slow starts to the second half of the team. Why do you think you all are having success in the second half of the game?
Yeah, we have to look at it. Second half, of course, we understand we haven't moved the ball. We haven't scored points in the second half. Defensively, done some things that are uncharacteristic in the second half. So we just have to find a way to play a complete game. That's what we have to find out.
Coach, it looked like CJ was off in the second half. He started out and he threw an interception, and then they played. He threw another interception in the red zone. What was it about his second half rhythm that didn't match the first half rhythm?
It's not good enough turning the football over there, especially in red zone or coming out. We talk about getting started in the second half, and we talked about being better in the second half, but to come out and turn the ball over the first play of the second half and to get in the red zone where we have points and to turn the ball over, that's not winning football.
This poor guy. His defense goes out there and
second half. What do you think are the biggest
effort.
factors to that, and how do you think you can alleviate those issues?
Hey, we have to win first and second down, right? Too many negative plays on first and second down. We didn't run the ball well, only 56 yards rushing the football. So, we didn't control the line of scrimmage when it came to running the football.
Hired
We've
Gruden.
been doing a good job of. So when you don't play well on first and second down, you find yourself in third and long, and it's hard to, continuously win third and long.
Nico, you talked about some things you guys could have done defensively in the second half, but you guys had 5 interceptions and weren't really able to turn that into more points. What do you say about a second half when you just get shut out? How do you?
He's already said it. He's already said it.
Yeah, I'm proud of the defense for guys going out and getting 5 turnovers. I think that's a big day for any defense. But the thing about turnovers is, what are you doing with those turnovers? And it's getting the points off of the turnovers. That's how you swing the game. And I don't think we got enough points off of the turnovers. But proud of the guys for that's a really good offense, and our guys played well. As down the stretch there, we just let some plays out that that we have to play better.
How frustrating can it be to get all those interceptions against a really, really good, high-potent offense and not be able to get the W?
Yeah, it's frustrating, of course, right, to play against that offense, high-powered offense, and to be able to take the football away. That's what we hang our hat on, is taking the football. So, we took the ball away, but it's about team football, right? And we didn't.
We'll get to the Supers, I promise. We'll probably be here for a little bit.
Game. You play complementary football, and it didn't work out for us today.
Coach, I know that it's already week 10, and I'm not asking you, are you going to make any shakeups as far as offensive play calling is concerned, but what can be done to improve the play calling in the second half?
And we have to look at everything. It's hard to look at all the play calling, what we're doing, what we're asking our guys to do, and make sure we're putting them in a good spot to execute. And guys have to take ownership and make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to do.
You did make some shakeups on the offensive line. How did you feel like that group played, and do you feel like there's another need for a shakeup?
Yeah, I think our guys protected well. We had Patterson in at center, moved Juice over the guard. Communication was well up front. Thought the guys protected well enough for us to make some plays. So I think the move was good there.
Did it feel like because the offense had some issues and maybe it was a quick turnaround for the defense that things kind of started to pile up positively for the Lions on offense and maybe the defense had a little gas there?
No, didn't get gassed. I just think, they got some runs on us when we didn't set the edge. We weren't triggering fast enough at the second level. We just we stalled a little bit there defensively. I think it was nothing, about being tired or anything. It's just us consistently executing. And that's what, I believe in, just out executing our opponent. And, when things got tight there at the end or in the second half, just like we didn't execute. We had multiple opportunities, right, to get off the field, but we didn't make those plays.
Come on, dude. Defense was fine.
DeMeco, I know you mentioned about guys stepping up. I know it wasn't enough tonight, but what did you see from John Mechie? How did he help this offense?
Yeah, really proud of Mechie. He stepped up big for us, got his first touchdown. So it's really –
Why do they always got to apologize before?
So, really love the play where he's blocking downfield. Man, he played a really good game, and excited to see him continue to improve off of what he did tonight. All right.
There you go. Thanks, Coach. Good effort by your defense, my man. You got to figure something out on that offense. You can't just keep that going the way that it's going, my friend. We'll hear from CJ Stroud in a second. I'll get to the Supers, and we can get more into this, but I got to get this question off my chest, man. I gotta ask the questions. Damn it, Bobby. Landry, the type of MFer to jump when he shoots free throws. Yeah, right. I can promise you that you don't want to see me in anything on the basketball court. That's blind pot luck. This is me going meathead, making myself. I promise you, I haven't played a while. There is no element on the basketball court that you, damn it, Bobby, with the Texans logo, would want to see. And that is blind pot luck. I don't even know what you look like. I don't even know how tall you are or anything. There is not an element that you want to see me on a basketball court. I can promise you. Let's get this off my chest after I go little Uncle Rico. I got to ask this to all my Maddeners. I am not a Madden player, but I got to ask you guys, and I need y'all to look this up. Someone look this up for me. I love you too, damn it, Bobby. I was just messing with you. What is Tytus Howard's awareness rating in Madden? Can someone look it up for me? Seriously, we'll wait. I need to know this. We'll go to the supers, but I need the answer to this. What is Tytus Howard's awareness rating in Madden? I want to know. I really want to know what Tytus Howard's awareness rating is. Madden players, please look this up for me. That dude, and that is when I knew the Texans were going to lose. Like, if CJ Stroud had just gotten sacked normally, then I maybe would have thought that they would have a chance at the end of the game to win the game. But as soon as I saw Tytus Howard after Laramie Tunsil got completely mixed, I mean, my man was on skates. That's the second week in a row that Laramie Tunsil, who's your best offensive lineman, has gotten mixed. But as soon as I saw Tytus Howard try to literally strip the ball from CJ Stroud, I knew they were losing. They could have honestly kicked a field goal. They could have gotten that first down and kicked a field goal with 0 seconds remaining and taken the lead, the Texans, with no time left. And I would have said, nah, they ain't winning this game. Not after I saw an offensive lineman strip his own quarterback. Something's going to happen. There's going to be some sort of replay review. As soon as you saw that 84 is Tytus's awareness rating in Madden, brother, that's got to, don't they adjust? They gotta adjust that one. They gotta adjust that one. That one was on national TV. They gotta adjust that. 84, that's got to go down at least in the 40s. And that might be generous. He stripped his quarterback. And it's not like he just grabbed it. He stripped it and went up to where it was on the ground. Like, they could have easily recovered that. Dude, I know there's a lot of upset fans in here, and I get it, and I'm here to talk this out with you. But y'all got to admit that was a little bit funny. He stripped his quarterback. And it's not like he grabbed it and just took off. He literally ripped it. He ripped the ball. Not steal. He ripped it. Ripped the football. You knew it was done as soon as that happened. It's like that one, if you had to get up early for work and you're one of these people who really, really just wants to get the dub, but you got to get to work, you're screwed. You're screwed. You just got to go to bed at that point. You just got to go to bed at that point. Someone says bro had a parlay or something. Dude, you might be right. He might have live bet the Lions +2 or something. I mean, that is insane. It's dumb enough if you just take it from him and you're going to take off and run. And if he runs for 11 yards, we're sitting there and it's like a highlight and we're laughing. Brother, he ripped it. Space City Ballers swarm in the super chat. We got a lot of super chats to swarm.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm. Goff threw 5 INT and lost. Oh, Landry, I'm at the point where I won't be watching the next few weeks. No lie. Slowik forcing Mixon to run, getting locked up. You're watching. Let's be serious. We're all in this together. T-Man says That second INT CJ threw is a slow that was not even Will Levis throws. This is very worrying for CJ. Yeah, CJ's not off the hook. CJ wasn't good. I want to point to tangible things. I try to point to tangible things. Bobby Slowik not throwing the final play of the 2-minute warning, and Bobby Slowik running the ball on 3rd and 10 to settle for a 50-plus yard field goal. I think the first drive you converted a 3rd and 10 and a 3rd and 16. Like, you were actually good on 3rd down. CJ had time. He was making plays with his legs. On 3rd and 10, when you're going for the kill, Bobby Slowik runs the ball with Joe Mixon. That was idiotic. Not throwing on 2nd down before the 2-minute warning was idiotic. CJ was bad. That throw was terrible. No excuse for that. CJ wasn't good. Alum, however you say it, sir, ma'am, sir. Why would you have kick a low 58-yard field goal? Even if you make it, you're giving it back to Detroit with 2 minutes. Weak-ass decision-making. So do you want him to go for it? I would understand the punt a little bit more than that. I don't know. I don't know that you like. I don't think you go for it, but you completely ruin you completely ruin putting the ball in CJ's hands when you just run it on 2nd down, and you hadn't run the ball well. You run it the final play of the 2-minute warning. It's football IQ 101. You throw the ball there. The clock's stopping no matter what. You take it down to the 2-minute warning, and if you move the chains, the game's over. That was dumb. Appreciate you, Almighty. Kaimi is not good and extremely overhyped. I would disagree with that. I'd say he's good. I'd say that they just rely on him too damn much. This rate, we're going to win the division, then go home. Very possible. That's the one thing about them. They have a really good defense, and they're the best team in the worst division in football. NFL needs to allow coaches to challenge penalties, non-penalty calls. That non-PI against Hutchinson was crazy and was an obvious miss. Yeah, it was, but I don't know that it was catchable. I think the ref probably looked at that and didn't look at it as catchable because the guy was right in front of it too. Like the white dude, he was right in front of it. So I guess that's probably why they missed it. I don't even know that was really a good throw by CJ. But yeah, I get it. That was a missed call. If there was ever a time to fire Bobby, it's now. Stop with the damn screens. Guys can't even pass protect, but you want their fat asses to go out and block for screens. Be serious, Bobby. Yeah, I thought he had a couple of good screens. I thought the Mixon one was good. It was kind of more of like a sideways non-traditional. I don't even know if you would consider that a screen. But yeah, the short game is ass, especially with Nico out. It's non-existent. Damn it, Bobby doesn't even cover how bad he is. Okay, we'll still do it anyway.
Damn it, Bobby.
This only works if we have a good OC. Yeah, Bobby's not a good OC right now. Would you replace Slowik with BOB at OC? Come on, man. Why are you doing that to me, Justin? Let me think about this. O'Brien couldn't score on opening drives that one year, and then I'll say this, like, it's sad that I'm having to think about this. I think O'Brien adjusted better, and he wasn't that good at it. I mean, this is right now, the DVOA is around the same range. We Eat Nation, this is a 9-8 team, very possible, which might win the division by 2 games, which is what's sad about it. Alum, why would you kick a 58-yarder? You go on 4th. Yeah, I think he's going back to that. You might have doubled up, my friend. LXCID Illusions. They need to get better in the second half of games to even compete. I was hyped during the first half. Embarrassing. Yeah, they didn't score a single point. CJ throws the interception on the first play, which is awful. Then Lassiter gets it back. Lassiter, by the way, ended up leaving. I think that might have had some impact on the game as well. And then you're unable to capitalize. Not good. K.A. Slowik is trying too hard sometimes, man. Stroud making bad decisions, and frankly, we need Nico. At what point do we place some blame on Stroud? I think he deserves a lot of blame today. I don't think he was great. Look, a lot of times, the thing about it is, if you think CJ Stroud's having to overcome coaching, I think he kind of grade on a curve, like when you look at like the total picture. And I think in the last few weeks, the case can be made, well, he didn't have time to throw and he's kind of in his own head. But today, CJ had more time to throw and he just made some bad throws. So I think CJ definitely deserves some blame. But I would also say that I am at least aware that he's not being put in the best position to succeed. Jake, we shouldn't even be surprised. You can change the uniform, but you can't change one of the scarred Houstons, but you can't change the team. Texans are eternally mid. Primetime Texans needs to be studied. Man, there's been some bad ones. You are not lying about that. There's been some bad ones. Hell, there's been 2 bad ones in the last week plus. You think Slowik's going to get an ass chewing? I'm not sure. I don't know what how DeMeco handles the offensive side. Again, I don't trust the offensive function of this football team in any way, shape, or form from the top down. They kept Kenyon Green out there all that extra time, and now we see it. We saw glimpses of it before, and then we see it today. All of a sudden, they can pass block better when fans saw it from the beginning. So I don't know. Fred In and Out Mobile Services says playing conservative with the lead is just stupid. I would agree with that. Not great. Jacob, $1 million idea, second half offensive coordinator. So let Bobby just call the first half, then get a second. I would make fun of that. I think that's a really, DeMeco said he's going to try whatever. Why not that? Just a sub, like a closer, like a tag team. Never a Texan game without an idiotic Slowik reverse. Yeah, that one looked like Mechie didn't throw it very well either. Paid for same super chat twice. Read it. Okay. Yeah, the dumb adjustments. Yeah, it's bad. You're the man, by the way. Going forward, I have no expectations going forward for offense. Heartbroken. First and second down runs not happening. Screen pass to Joe. What the F? Bad play calling and always waste time at the end of the game. Yeah, it's really weird how this offense functions there's no balance. And I like my biggest criticism of Bill O'Brien, like going back to the last time that I saw a team wet the bed as bad as the Texans have, I would say you have to go back to Kansas City divisional round 2019, Bill O'Brien's final playoff game. And I think, he only coached 4 games afterwards. And the line of thinking was what was bad in that for Bill O'Brien, because they had a 4th and 1 and he decided that he was going to settle for the field goal, even though they had all the momentum. And then they fake a punt with Justin Reed and the wheels completely fall off. Bobby Slowik today had a situation where on 3rd and 10, he decides he's going to settle for the field goal with CJ Stroud playing pretty decent at that point. A long field goal too, by the way. Then he decides at the end of the game that he's going to run on second down instead of throwing on the 2-minute warning, and basically put yourself in position where you're essentially saying you either make this 3rd down or you kick a 58-yard field goal. So he plays it conservative. But then at the end of the first half, they're calling timeouts, and he's just completely emptying the AK. Like all the plays that he has, like he's just unloading it. What? Where is the balance there? Like, what's the line of thinking? I myself said, and I'm saying this just to show that I'm not like some hindsight dealer. I wouldn't have called timeout on 3rd down at the end of the second quarter. I would have just taken it to the house. They didn't do that. And it looked like a completely different offense, and the way that they function was completely different than the way they function whenever it's nut cutting time. I don't know what that is. I don't know if maybe whenever there's less time, Bobby Slowik just kind of his balls drop. I don't know if DeMeco goes up to him and says, let's be aggressive and get some points, since he's the one calling the timeout. I don't know if he just if there's like an extra level of, I want to satisfy the coach's desires to where he's being aggressive, so I've got to be more aggressive. But it's not proportional to what this team does. And I'm not sitting here saying that you got to handle every situation the same way, in the exact same way. There's times to play it conservative. There's times to be aggressive. And my dumbass said that I wouldn't have even called the timeouts there. So I'm admitting that. I'm raising my hand and admitting that. But what is going on there? Why is it that at the end of the first half they can steal points, and they've actually been pretty decent at it? And in a game where they don't score a single point in the second half, they're just completely aggressively going after the Lions, and the offense looks completely different. Does that mean that Bobby Slowik, it goes back to the theory earlier on where I think he's probably a good test taker when he can have a study group, but crappy at pop quizzes? Because it's weird as hell, and it's not proportional to what they do. So I find it really strange with Bobby Slowik. But you're asking me what the thing is with Bobby Slowik? I don't know. CJ Stroud deserves blame. The offensive line's terrible. Tytus Howard stripping his own guy. He shouldn't even – I mean, he should honestly be – he should be very embarrassed right now. I know he doesn't have Twitter. I'm sure that he has some way of looking at it. Like, he is getting roasted like a marshmallow right now. It's very good that Tytus Howard doesn't have Twitter if he actually doesn't go on it. But it would be good not to go on it today because he's among a joke of a choke. See what I did there? Tytus is the biggest target of all. Appreciate the therapy. Hey, I'm here for you. It is a locker room, number one source for Texans digital content. We'll hear from CJ in a sec. This is the post-game show. We're getting through some of the swoops. A lot of people swarming that soup.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm. When we didn't get that PI 3rd and 4, but kicked 4th and 4, I felt lost. SMH. Feel you, man. Gustavo DeMeco calling out CJ, but not calling out Bobby. Didn't catch that. Nathan Palmer, I knew we should have hired Cliff instead. He has more experience than OC than Slowik. Damn it, Bobby. I love the damn it, Bobby.
Damn it, Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, Cliff's a better offensive mind than Bobby Slowik. I think we can agree with that. As I sit here wearing this battle red jersey, I hate to say it, this loss was on Stroud. Based on how Stroud has to be and what he has to do on this team, I don't think that's an unfair thing to say. Like, based on him having to handle the cards that he's dealt, I don't think that's an unfair thing to say. Because even when the offense has been worse, CJ's had to save butts, and CJ's had to get the job done. And even on defensive efforts, like, I don't know that the last time that Bobby Slowik really called a good game plan. I really don't know. It sure as hell doesn't look like it. Bobby doesn't know how to adjust on the fly, and it showed tonight. Ryans needs to take over play calling for the whole team. Yeah, he's not offensive play caller, and it might take away from the defense. I don't know about all that. CJ just got to take the reins sometimes. Stop at the Slowik stupidity. Do what veterans do and call audibles when the play sucks. I don't even know if he's allowed to do that. They say he is. I feel like I don't see it a lot. Tytus ripping the ball when CJ had it was insane. Dude, it's probably the dumbest play I've ever seen. That was crazy because he didn't rip it. He ripped it. Lawrence Piles win AFC South with 9 wins. Host the Saturday afternoon wildcard game, the Bill O'Brien Invitational. Lose on the road to a well-run organization. How about that? That actually seems like a very. I know you're probably upset, Lawson, and shout out to you, and I appreciate you for swarming the super chat.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm. But that seems like a reasonable itinerary you just laid out.
High-grade marijuana called Kush on the streets. Did you know what that was?
Now I do.
Neither.
That seems very reasonable. G says M. Dassin 24 awareness rating 84. Tytus Howard. Man, how is his awareness 84? Is Daniil Hunter washed? No, he's not. He's fine. I mean, there was pressure today. They did a good job. Chris Howard, appreciate you, my friend. X, bro, imagine if you got paid to be a therapist to all 1,000 of us. I pretty much am. We're here for each other. That's the whole point of the community. Good times, bad times. We're here to get through this. I'm here to cover the squad with integrity, voice of the fan, balance journalistic values with entertainment and informing and not just showing up and talking and keeping them fooled. That's what I'm here for. What's the future? The digital game. Shout out to Cody Stutes doing his thing as well. I'm dying laughing at the comments tonight. This game was pathetic. So glad we have this post-game therapy. See, it's therapy. don't know what therapy is. Maybe some people need liquid therapy. Some people need needle therapy. Some people need the
high-grade marijuana
my personal
called Kush
preference
on the streets. Did you know what that was?
Some people
No,
need
me
it.
neither.
Shout out to Dingleberry. I think he just wanted me to say that. Shout out to E, whatever the hell that is. A again, Lions would have gone for it. That's why here they are. You absolutely go for it. Well, they actually kicked the 58-yard field goal before that, and it's funny because I was getting roasted, and rightfully so, because I made the prediction. I said there ain't no way Bates is making this, the 58-yarder. I know he had like good performance in the XFL. Dude, he sucked. Y'all have no idea how much he sucked in 2023 when he was in camp here. And he was with Fairbairn. Dude, he was so freaking bad. Shout out to him, though. Good story. But, man, he sucked. And you saw how close that was. I actually thought he was going to miss the game win or two, and then the Texans would lose in overtime. Because, like I said, as soon as I saw Tytus Howard strip CJ Stroud, there was no chance the Texans were winning this game. Zero. Nada, zilch, none. Don't know which L is worse, Houston or Dallas. The Texans is worse. The Cowboys fans are actually happy that they're losing. There's some. What are your thoughts on the tight end usage? I thought Dalton was good tonight. Stover had a drop. It looked like a drop. They didn't even show the replay of it. I thought Dalton was fine tonight. I don't know if they need to be used more, but I think that they've been appropriately used. I do find it interesting that the usage doesn't seem to go up whether Nico Collins is in or not. That's kind of weird. You know, you kind of try to figure stuff out. You try to predict it. And I'm sure most of y'all play fantasy, but like typically whenever your reserve receivers, although Mechie had a good game tonight, but when they don't really produce and you have a tight end who's produced, you think he's probably going to get more production. He has, but it's relative to really bad. So I don't know if they're not being used enough or not. Darth Earp should have hired Kingsbury instead of Slowik. That's a popular take right now. Dingleberry again. Shout out to Dingleberry every time. Hubra, 10 weeks in, and we don't have a signature win yet. You're right. Green Bay would have been, and this would have been. They wasted defensive efforts on that. Yeah, there's no signature win. That's fair. That's fair. Like, there's no win you look at and say, this is where I knew that this team was legit. Yeah, they blew it today. A again, primetime Deshaun, primetime CJ. Woo-wee. I'll let y'all cuss and discuss that one amongst yourself. But that is swarming to the super chat.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm. Dingleberry, so stupid it makes me feel like it might be rigged. Yeah, it's definitely not rigged. Big Steve, worst loss of the season, in my opinion. I really don't enjoy watching the games anymore. Man, so you're already there? Damn, so you're not going to watch the Cowboys next Monday night? Come on, brother. Justin P, got to focus on the draft. This team ain't winning shit. Damn. It's like that. We'll get back to the supers in a sec. Let's hear from CJ Stroud. He was not good today either. Let's just be serious. CJ Stroud, I know we love the quarterback. CJ Stroud, not good at all. It'll be interesting to hear what he has to say. Take it away, CJ.
Thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for this opportunity to play on Sunday night against a good team like the Lions. But, it's not easy to be on third and long a lot. But, I mean, clearly you got to be better on first, second down.
Can you kind of take us through what happened on that first throw of the third quarter where he threw the interception?
Yeah, I just didn't see the coverage. He did a good job. I had the cover two and just left it inside. Can't do that. Made a good play on the ball, so yeah, it's my fault.
CJ, it seems like you guys continue to have some issues in the second half. Moving the ball, scoring. Can you put your finger on what the issue is?
It seems like it's different every week. I feel like this game was on me, definitely.
There you go.
Got to make plays, got to make throws.
It was on him.
Can't turn the ball over and when we're in scoring position. So, yeah, I blame this on me. I got to be better in those moments. So, yeah, it's really just got to go down and score in the red zone. And defense is getting the turnovers like they were. So, got to be able to, reward them with points. And that's something we didn't do. So, I feel like I'm the one to blame when it comes to that. I turn the ball over in the red zone. So, yeah.
Damn, dude.
Last one for me, I promise. You talked about this week.
Last one, I promise you. You got to say that. Come on, dude.
How difficult is it when the game is slipping away, and how do you think your sideline group handled that, so to speak?
It's all about what happens in in between the lines. That's what fuels energy. So we're not executing. I mean, no one's going to be smiling ear to ear. So the more you execute, the more it's fun. And it's something I think the more we execute, we can get have more fun.
I'm not sure if someone's already asked you this. I just got in here, but seeing how well the defense played, being forced all the turnovers, how frustrating you kind of lost like this week.
Very, yeah, it's not easy. Definitely should have won this game, so it's not easy.
CJ, what did you make of the game plan, what you guys put together on offense, and kind of some of the issues you had in the second half, and maybe some of the timing of some of the play calls and things like that with the game plan?
I thought it was good. At the end of the day, got to execute plays, and that's my job to lead the offense to score points, and I didn't do that today, so we're not gonna point fingers or I pointed at myself, and then two, we got to just move on from this and still understand we just took one of the best football teams, best NFL teams to the wire, but we really should have put them away after the first half. So it's really on the offense. You got to be better. I got to be better. So yeah.
Take 3 more. Mr. Jonathan Cole. So you can probably ask everything. But I guess what is the biggest thing that you feel like you want to take away from today's game?
Just make better throws when guys are wide open, and don't turn the ball over on first play of the second half. So I mean, if you take those plays away and I throw Tank a good ball on that one play, the game is flipped over. So I got to be able to be better during those moments and take it on the chin like I know how to, and the sun will rise up tomorrow hopefully, and go play the Cowboys on Monday night and try to have a good game there. So it's not a time to feel bad for ourselves. Just it happened. We got to learn from it and move on.
CJ, I'm not sure if you got asked this, but John mentioned finally getting in the end zone. Just overall thoughts on his performance and his ability to step on up in the big time.
Yeah, he did really well. It was big time for us. Ran a lot of crisp routes. Caught the ball, got a lot of yak, got the touchdown. So yeah, I'm super proud of him and super happy that he's getting his opportunities and showing his worth.
CJ, I know you take these types of losses very personal. How long does this sit with you before you're able to flush out your system and move on to Dallas?
I'm not sure.
It's honest.
I don't know. It's hard, to lose like that, especially when our defense plays so good, and we're just not scoring points at the end of the day. So yeah, it's not easy, but can't sit here and keep our heads down. Got to keep our heads up and go back to work and get better. So that'll be the plan.
How do you guys prevent this from kind of snowballing? You guys were in this position last year. Yes, you guys started 6-4, went on to the divisional round. You guys have been in a position like this before. How do you prevent losses like this from snowballing? You guys can get back on track.
Learn to dominate. Kind of what I said last week. We have the team to do it. We have the players. We have the scheme. Now it's just up to the players to do it and put it on the field. So, there's a lot of things were better today. And, for me, I got to look myself in the mirror and that's not winning football. So it is what it is. Got to learn from it. I believe that, we still are a great team and can do a lot of special things, but we got to learn how to pull those type of games out. And that's, I think, the second time now we've lost that way. So, if you hang your head down, you can look up and the season will be over and you didn't fix it. So, the only thing, you got to keep our heads up and get the problems fixed. Next.
All right, there you go. CJ Stroud. My goodness, he deserves some blame here. Not going to lie, he took it. He said he's taking the blame for the L. All right. Whatever you say, my friend. LXCID illusions, not letting Stroud call for audibles is criminal activity. Yeah, I don't know whether he is or not. They insist. I don't feel like I'm seeing audibles called up there. Tank 922, what's with Bobby always trying to use Tank out of the backfield? It never works. I don't know. You probably just could ask with what stopped at what's up with Bobby. Luke, oh my God, we've already gotten John Gruden hired as the next OC. Should have been Cliff. Now we got Brian Dable. Hope Brian Dable gets fired so we can grab him. I didn't even run the system. So you wouldn't change the whole system? Philip, my gosh, man, I appreciate you, my friend. That's very, very kind of you for stopping by. Appreciate you. Gerard Moreno. Hey, Landry, there are a lot of drop passes, but no excuses. Really bad play calling. If we had Nico, we would have won by a touchdown. If we had Will, we would have had at least a sack. We need a new OC. Okay. It's a lot of ifs, though, man. They don't have their starting left tackle. They don't have Hutchinson, who was going to be the defensive player of the year in the NFL. So, yeah, they were missing a lot as well. Big Steve, from wannabe Patriots to wannabe 49ers, just stop. Oh, my gosh. Good Lord. Y'all are crazy today. Is it possible to demote Slowik and give Gerard Johnson a shot at play calling? Can't be any worse than Bobby. Yeah, it's possible. I don't know if Gerard's a good play caller. I don't even know if he's a good QB coach at this point. I mean, do we? I mean, he's did good with CJ, but I mean, if CJ's playing bad too, what is Gerard doing? Who knows? I mean, that's his next step, is being an offensive coordinator. Is going to get a chance. I wouldn't bet against him when it comes to thing. He's a man of many talents. But is he doing a good job? Like, is Gerard doing a good job as quarterback coach? I don't know. Don't know if he can call plays either. Never done it. McDermott is a defensive-minded coach, and even his offense isn't as conservative as ours. Yeah, but their quarterback's better. Let's just be serious. Like, I like CJ. I kind of got some. I remember the last time that I was kind of just like raised my eyebrows. Travis Johnson was on with me and Wade Smith at KPRC. Now, in fairness, I don't think he watched the game the night before. But I said, CJ is trying to become an elite quarterback, and they acted like I said something crazy that he wasn't. What? He's already elite. I don't think CJ is as good as Josh Allen. He's way ahead of what Josh was at this point in his career. But when it comes to the Bills-Texans comparison, I think Josh Allen is ahead of CJ Stroud when it comes to a lot of things. I mean, he's one of the best players in the league. It's not even really much of an insult. BNMA just tweeted Tytus was trying to hold him up and grab the ball by accident. Do we believe that? No, DJ is going to carry the offensive line water. If you've noticed, last year when Laramie Tunsil had his game against the Jags, and I love DJ, he's cool. I'll mess with him about this tomorrow. But when Laramie got completely bullied by Josh Allen, might have been hurt. He basically said it wasn't that bad of a game, and he said this about Tytus. Like, he's putting it out there. He doubled down on it. DJ carries the O-line water, and he does so with two hands high and tight. Ozarka filled waters. He does. I need our defense to play like last year's Browns game and score points for us. So you want the defense to score points. That's fair. 10 weeks in and nothing is different with the offense. The writing is on the wall. What's the excuse to not fire Bobby Slowik? They think he's doing a good job. CJ likes him. DeMeco likes him, would be the excuse. Fans in the comments ready to bail on CJ is just wild. See, that's crazy. That's too much. Anyone who wants to bail on CJ, I haven't really noticed any of that, but yeah, he needs to be better. He needs to play better. And quite frankly, with these surroundings, a lot of times he's going to have to be the reason that they beat good teams offensively. Tanks become inconsequential and wrongly utilized. I think Tank had a good year last year, but I think we might have jumped the gun on where we put Tank. I think Tank's a good wide receiver. I think he can be he's a solid 3. He's not a 1A. He's not a 1B. Sometimes he'll be out there. Hell, he had a couple of drops today, I think. At least one that could have been big that would have gotten them closer. They ended up hitting Mechie, but it completely changed the way the play call was made. But yeah, I think Tank is what he is. Is he underutilized? I don't know. But yeah, that's just kind of what that is. We're not beating the Chiefs or the Ravens. Yeah, they're not in the same class as the Chiefs, Ravens. They're not in the same class as the Bills. I don't think they're in the same class as the Steelers either at this point, especially if they're going to block that way. So, yeah, who knows, though? They do have a really good quarterback. They do have a good defense. I think DeMeco's a good coach, but if this offense continues, you haven't scored an offensive touchdown in the second half of a game, then yeah, you're kind of in trouble. It's just kind of where it is when it comes to this squad. You can't blame the offensive line. Yeah, I don't think so either. This one's not on the offensive line. This one's as much on CJ as anything. The run blocking wasn't great, but yeah, this is not, offensive line. It is kind of troubling though, that for me, that all that appears to have needed to happen for this offensive line to be able to function at a decent level throwing was Kenyon Green not be in the lineup. Now, for Kenyon Green to not be in the lineup, something had to happen, which is unfortunate for everyone. That's kind of troubling because this is the same offensive staff that we're questioning. And not only can they not handle second half adjustments and second half execution and all that, it doesn't appear that they can even handle personnel. So that's a little bit of a problem. That's a little bit troubling. We Eat Nation, again, this team reminds me of the Andrew Luck Colts, mostly because we're in a terrible division. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding. I think that's a good comparison. The only thing keeping the Texans alive right now is Southern hospitality. Like, if you're just looking at the division, and you can stop looking up, like, you're not going to be the 1 seed. The 2 seed is, I don't see that happening either. I could see them actually clinching the division in the next 3 weeks. You have the Cowboys, you have the Jags, you have the Titans. That's before you go through the murderer's row to end the season against the good teams. But you have the Colts. The Colts got to face the Lions. The Colts got to face the Jets. They got to go to New York. So you could realistically beat a dog-butted Cowboys team and then dog-butted Jags and Titans and pick up 2 more games on the Colts and be 4+ games up on them because you own the tiebreaker. Like, you might be able to win this division at 8-9, quite honestly, which is hilarious. But you might be able to. That's how terrible this division is. And that's the saving grace for this football team. But if you're talking about getting to that next step, no. I mean, the 2018 Texans were just as, they were just as fraudulent when it came to a contender than this Texans team. And that team ended up somehow going 11-5. But yeah, you're not, with how they're playing right now and how this is going, no, you can't even start to look at Baltimore, Kansas City in those types of squads. And you damn sure can't expect them to stack up wins against good squads with how they are right now. If they're just going to do the same thing and they're not going to change anything on the offensive side of the rock, yeah, just cross your fingers and hope you get the right matchup in the first round, win a playoff game, get those division hats, and that's the end of it. I think not having Nico really impacted what CJ does, especially on scramble plays. No doubt. When you get Nico Collins back, that's a big get, and that definitely changes things. We'll see what that looks like. It obviously looked a lot better when he was in there. So you're 100% correct on that. It changes a lot, and that's definitely CJ's target, and there's a snowball effect there. So, yeah, that's an excellent point, and we'll see what it looks like. But they're still going to have to be better even when Nico comes back, because you're going to have to elevate your level once that gets there. But there's no threat of losing the division. None. Not sitting here saying that's to be celebrated. That's just the reality of the situation. Texans need better strength and conditioning coaching. We are hot cow bleep in the second half. Yeah, I don't know if that's strength and conditioning. I think it's as much of an adjustment type of thing as anything. Anyway, tomorrow, SNL, 9 a.m., myself and Cody Stutz will continue this therapy session. We'll try to add some more talking points when it comes to this Texans squad and this loss and the bedwetting. We'll also be at DeMeco Ryans' press conference. We'll talk to him, see what's going on there, see if he's going to make any huge announcements or he's just going to use the word execute 1,700 times, which his defense did do. I will give him that. But we'll see. 9 o'clock SNL simulcast, myself and Cody Stutz. If you're new to the channel, you're from Detroit, shout out to you. Congratulations to you. You got a hell of a football team. Be sure to subscribe to get the pulse of what's going on with the Texans if these teams cross paths or if you just want to keep up. If you are part of the community and always in here, appreciate you. Be sure to like, subscribe, right along. Always remember, man, it's midnight, baby. This is going to be a really, 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 really interesting week. No ground lost in the AFC South. no hope that this team is currently a contender. No matter what, whether they're a contender or not, always remember when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together. Thanks for joining the Locker Room postgame show. Be sure to subscribe, like, right along. Appreciate all the supers. Appreciate all the people very, very much. Talk to you tomorrow, 9:00.
Yeah. Do it, yeah. It's the Locker Room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey, Locker Room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize every angle's what we really do. We the source. We the pulse of the city too. Landlocked. Got the game in the headlock.